sharing. I'm on. Alright, okay, going to chat filter all messages. Alright, okay, going to chat filter all messages. I don't know if I'm going to get out or not. I'm using a hotspot and not a hotspot, so if that makes sense. But it will record hopefully, so I'll get on and yeah, whatever happens, I don't really care. So I just wanted to, as I said to you the other day, I've been a little bit under the weather, but doing what I can. And your boy here is feeling a lot better. So, although I've always said to you, I don't watch other people's podcasts because they are, if I watch them, if I watch them, I might draw inspiration from them and then find myself in an echo chamber. So what I do is I check in on the people that I like every now and again, or watch a certain video if it's important I see it. But beyond that, I don't watch other podcasts because I don't want to be influenced by them. So I do check in on the people, especially people care about or know are good people. VINDCATOR, a coward. Is he? So VINDCATOR's a coward. Who said this? And I know it's obviously either a comment section thing, or something similar. Now, as I said, I only watch certain videos. I don't give two pisses for what VINDCATOR's content is. As I said, I know him to be a good person. I watched a couple of videos and they seem very good to me. And to see someone like him, only thing I was pissed off at was that he was having to fucking answer this in the first place. For someone like him to have to feel that they need to come on here and explain to anybody that they are not a coward, for him, of all people. But don't get me wrong, he's not fucking SAS or anything like that. Doesn't need to be. He has been responsible for a lot of people's safety in this time and has paid the price for it. Now, I'm not talking about fucking Dorman, a lot higher than that, and he's paid the price for it. And he's showed his courage. And then he's come into this arena. And unlike many people who talk about civil wars and everything else, but never even attend a demo, let alone fight a civil war, he has gone out there time and time again, put his ass on the line, knowing that he's either going to A, take a beating, or B, go to prison, if he can't use that very smart mind of his to get things that just because he's not been used by Tommy or by anybody else like that before, the only reason that's not happened is because they don't really know much about him, truth be told. There's no distrust there, except they don't know him. But I could tell you this now, if they knew him and knew his capabilities, and then like I say, so he's gone from showing his courage in one job to then coming on here and showing consistent courage between getting his face kicked in and being dragged to a police station and losing his rights and everything else, when he's actually the most nicest guy you could ever meet, truly, and one of the few honest faces in the entire movement that is straight with you 100% down the line. I've tried to say with me, you don't know honesty when you see it. But of course, I understand why you would think, well, of course you're going to say that, Tom. Fair enough. So I've got no benefit for me to say it about Vindicator. I'm telling you, that man is a good man who has shown his courage, and it's a fucking insult to many things. It's an insult to his courage. It's an insult because the guy's a fucking warrior. It's an insult because the guy will put his ass on the line. It's an insult that he's done all that whilst other people have sat on their couches. You know, and don't get me wrong, there's always going to be trolls. There's always going to be, and you've got to ignore them. And that would be my first advice to him. But for him to have made a video like that, he could say he doesn't care. But I would disagree, because anything you respond to, you put time to, must have affected you in some way. Sorry, Ben, but that's the truth. So, and I spit on everybody that made him feel like that. Truly. Because he's one of the best of us. And just because he hasn't been used for certain names or anything else, doesn't mean he's more qualified than many of the people that you would consider above his station. He's good, his podcasts are good, but he is a guy who's brilliant at security, podcasting second, not the other way around. So don't get that confused. And you know, managing to do activism on the, you know, and do what he does. When you consider what he's been through, some people wouldn't have the courage left in them to go out there and face people and predicaments that could lead into their injury ever again. He'd have the right to use that card, and nobody, but nobody with a shred of humanity could argue that. He's already given enough and been through enough. He doesn't need to go out there and earn anybody's respect with what do you call it? Sorry, activism. He has done enough and been through enough before he ever came to YouTube to secure his courage placement, if that's how people measure it these days. Whilst, again, not just in the movement, but in life, somewhere between 80 and 90% of the people you ever speak to that talk about being proactive never are. People who talk the most. I mean, look at me. Recently, I've not been at my best. I've talked a lot, done a little. It's frustrating. But at least I have a reason. There are a lot of people that don't, and they've got resources, they've got everything they need, and yet they're not bringing you the best stories. That you should question that. You should seriously question that. Instead, people like him, because he's putting out a few videos that the people don't like because they got favourites. Why are we? Like, I understand populism and everything else, but a lot of people complain to us about division on the right, and I understand and I accept it. But you are that division. You are also part of it because you get pulled into it and you pick sides. If you people in this movement used to really, I will say, the people used to use us on YouTube very well, because they would leave a grey area there where they'd say, no, we can get on with multiple podcasts. We can get on with multiple people. We don't need to get involved in their arguments. And it would really minimise our bullshit, to be quite frank with you. And it would make things stop, because you guys just, you know. But at the moment, obviously, people get sort of dragged into it because they feel sorry for one side or another. It's not because anybody's trying to do the wrong thing. It's because people have empathy for different things, because they have different life experiences. It's just a normal part of life. But don't forget Everybody's moaning about free speech, especially in this country at the moment. So don't castigate a man for his right to his. A man that's done far more good than he ever did harm, both for his country and inside this movement, and for his people. And I can't stick up for myself the same way because it's always going to be self-serving. He doesn't need me to stick up for him. I'm sure he wouldn't want me to. But I am triggered, I suppose, to an extent, not to a loss of control, but to enough to make this video, to see a man like him, who's so much better than many of his critics, feel like he needs to make a video addressing cowardice, his cowardice. The man, I don't think has any, you know? We all are afraid, but that's not a measure of cowardice. It's what you do about the fear. I know it's a bit cliche, but it really is. It's whether the putting other people first, putting duty first will override your own selfish desires to stay alive. And that's courage. It's doing something in spite of the terror, you know. And he's a man, been there, seen it, done it. So yeah, it's a real shame. And again, I haven't seen those videos. I'm sure people have been triggered because he's very critical. He just says things as he sees it. That's exactly what I used to be applauded for. That's what I grew my channel on. And that's why my channel became a success. And yet he does exactly the same thing and is castigated. If he's wrong about something, he's not going to hide away from it. He's going to address it. So I was wrong. He's just that sort of guy. If he's right about something, he's not going to ram it down your throat. He's just going to say, right now, do you trust me? You know? He's like that. You notice in the video that he didn't raise his voice, he didn't shout, didn't need to. He knows how to make his point. He's a very intelligent, thoughtful man who's never tried to take from anybody and has to be called a fucking coward by cowards. To be ashamed to call this man a coward, regardless of what you think about his opinion about anything. And that's it. I think if anything more than that is just a rant or a monologue. Well, it was a monologue, I suppose. But I just felt I needed to say it because I saw it and I thought, you know, I know this man. I know this man. And this isn't right that he's even made that video. I understand why he made it, by the way. But he shouldn't have felt... He should never have been put in the position of feeling like he had to for having an opinion. Especially as nobody out there can categorically prove him wrong about anything that he said. And until that day, in which case, nobody's got the right to bury him. You find out he's been lying, you find out he's wrong about everything he said, okay, you've got a case to bury the guy. But nobody can actually do that. Therefore, how can you pass judgment on him? When I started this, we fought for the right, for what he is doing. We're being poisoned by the left. We're being poisoned by the change in our society. We're being poisoned by the cultural revolution we've been forced to go through. Let's not forget the days when criticism wasn't taken personally. Sticks and stones. What on earth is happening to us on the right? Pull it together. People want unity. That means all of us. That means leaders not dividing you guys out there, the public and everybody else. Leaders need to get their shit together and not divide people, me included. And you as well have got to be aware of what's the situation and realise that right now it's in everybody's best interest to have us divided. So there are people at work trying to make sure that happens. And whilst we're never going to unite with people we know mean evil, everybody else, fine. And that's what I've been trying to tell you, but perhaps I said it in the wrong words. Anyways, you know, it's like my friend Denny Roscoe. Now, I'm not going to say I agree with everything he said. He knows that we deal with certain issues in different ways. Yeah, very different ways. Again, that's the beauty of being critically minded, being able to accept people like what we do, and being able to criticise each other a little bit without being able to offend each other. And at the same time, that then opens the door for all the things you do agree on, which is a mountain of things where you find the humanity of someone, and like he's been able to, for over the years, he's been able to bolster me at times, you know, when I was struggling. He's a good bloke. And again, he's come out with some videos, controversial videos, and I think people sort of go, he's trying to get clicks. And I get it, and I can see why it looks like that. And I'm not saying he's right or wrong about anything, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm not the arbiter of truth. All I'm going to say is, Danny will never say something or do something he doesn't truly believe to be the truth. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean he's a loose cannon, because at times he'll know, maybe I'm wrong. He'll admit these things. Maybe you know. And I think the only other thing that really frustrates him is nobody ever really comes forward with proof. You know, not that everybody should have proof to every accusation that someone comes out with, but there are things that have led him down the path that he's gone down, and they're not. Some of those things have hold water, so it's natural to question, because that's what we do. You know, in one of my songs, it's I'm going to shine a light. To shine a light, we have to go to uncomfortable places. Sometimes we may even get it wrong. Not saying anybody has, I'm just saying sometimes, well, you're going to get it wrong. As long as you acknowledge it if and when you do, I don't see it as a problem. I mean, it is a problem, but obviously everybody can make a mistake. But generally speaking, you know, people do try, and if they really think something's out of whack, they don't just, anybody professional doesn't just go and start calling names. They go and do their due diligence first. And I'll tell you this, no, I can't say nobody, that's not true. Of the people that many of you get on with, many of us, nobody wants to be dividing you or to be divided. That's the honest truth. We know that we're stronger together. But to keep that unity, if you felt there was a mole in the house, what would you do? If you truly believed it, and believed they were offering harm to every single person around you. You know? And in these uncertain times, there's every reason to believe this is going on. Because I thought maybe these people were paying for these subscriptions out of vanity to get success. And I'm sure for some people that's true. But it never really struck me that they could be used for anything more insidious than that. And of course they can. Propaganda and fucking trying to brainwash people who trust them. By the way, that's not calling anybody out. I had no one in my mind then. I'm just talking across the board because I've showed you how it's done, just to prove that it can very easily. And I think Danny, I don't know if he's released it or if he's going to release a video. I don't know exactly what he was going to show next, but it was the next part of that process, view botting. And it's so easy to be able to demonstrate these things to you. And when you look at people's numbers, there is some frightening evidence, almost, but it's weird, because it's there, and it's almost the point you don't want to bring these videos out, because you know you're just going to get a load of hate for telling the truth. And yet, this is why I said the age of the truth teller is dead, and everybody online disagreed with me. Well, if you tell the truth about something that you can categorically prove with numbers, and people throw stones at you and go, "Ooh, you're trying to divide us." I'm not saying that's happened yet, but I could foresee a situation where it could. That's a paradox, yeah? That's a no-win scenario. That's a Kobayashi Maru to anybody that would get that reference, you know? So, what do? It's not a winning position. So, I don't know. I don't think launching cannonballs at each other is the answer either. I'm not saying that. Because you don't want to be launching them blindly. But that's the problem. Anyway, look. This is just waffle now. Back to the source. If you can call Vindicator a coward, then you best fucking list out your record of achievements in terms of courage and valour. And I'm sure some of you could, but not many. And then call him a coward. Don't get me wrong, by all means, go and say I hate this video. I disagree with you wholeheartedly. Fine. I think you're a wanker for making this video. You know what I mean? That's fine. But coward? Wrong word, wrong guy. Wrong word, wrong guy. For whatever reasons, and I don't really know why he was called that. Again, all I can do is read a few titles of his videos, because I don't have the time to go through them all and go, maybe it's because of that. Maybe it's because that looks a bit like some people would object to that because they're going to pick one side or the other. That'll be divisive because some people are on one side. So I saw a couple like that, but I didn't watch them. And again, I don't care what content was in them. You don't get to call this guy a coward. The end. I love you all, and this is not a criticism of any single one of you. It's whoever it was, because we've probably got different audiences. This is whoever it was that did that to him and made him feel that he had to do that on his own channel. I don't know what audience he has, so probably different from mine. But I just want to wish him all the best. And buddy, you've made your video now. If you do see this, you've made your video now. Do not feel the need to come back and answer anything else. Done. You've done it. That's it. You don't owe anybody else fucking anything. You have given and given and given. People don't appreciate it, that's fine. Whoever they are. But mate, you don't need to make another video where you've got to address things like that, because not unless you did something absolutely terrible, which we already both know that you would never do. So again, I haven't spoken to Vin one-on-one for a very long time. I don't need to. Please give me a like or dislike, and dislikes are just as welcome. Love you all. I'm Tom Fury, this is Tom Generation X. Take care, guys.